Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Leslie Golden of Weight and Gold, and you're watching the Weight and Gold YouTube channel. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any great content that could help you on your journey. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about when we have moments where we're frustrated and our weight is not responding. This happens all the time. Always starts with expectations, right? I mean, when we have realistic expectations in terms of what is required, how long it may take, those types of things, it always helps from the beginning, right? So one thing to consider, the expectations that you have, the results that you're looking for when you feel like your weight is not responding, are those fair? Are they accurate? Because for so many of us, like, diet culture has created this idea in our heads that appropriate weight loss that shows that we're putting the effort in, is like 10 to 20 pounds a month. I don't know where we got this from. I guess it's from all the crash diets that we've done in the past, or sometimes that first initial phase of weight loss where we see a significant change. We think that's kind of that long-term result that we're going to see, which isn't usually the case. So make sure our expectations are accurate, so we're not setting ourselves up for disappointment that really doesn't need to be there. So consistent, sustainable, long-term weight loss usually looks like half a pound to 2 pounds a week. And that's on average, right? I see it all the time. All of our bodies are different. Each individual body is different. And the sooner we get familiar with and accept how our body responds, the happier we're going to be through this journey. So if someone has a body that like consistently loses weight every week, that might be a little bit easier for them to deal with because they're not going to have that level of frustration. But there are a lot of us where our bodies resist, and then have a significant weight loss, and then resist, and then have a significant weight loss. And yeah, we have to work on our frustration tolerance in those situations. And there's another big part of this too, where the number on the scale cannot be the only thing we're focusing on. It cannot be the only measure we're using, and it can't be the only reason why we're doing this for. Because with successful weight regulation, there will come a time where the number on the scale isn't going to go down anymore. It shouldn't go down anymore because we're at a good balance. And what a lot of us forget at the beginning and through the process is when we get to that point, guess what? You have to keep doing all of the interventions that gave you that success, but you're not going to get the feedback of the number on the scale going down anymore. So there's got to be other reasons that rewards you for doing it. So the sooner we can detach ourselves from that, the better. And it creates a better experience throughout. So when the weight's not responding, first ask yourself, do you have realistic expectations? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your body. 2, is your commitment level, is your execution of whatever plan you're working on, does it match your expectation? So let's make this not about weight. Let's not make this not about health, because behavior change is hard. There's no judgment here. This is just a conversation of you truly asking yourself and being honest with yourself and not giving yourself a hard time for unfair expectations, okay? So say I'm studying for a test, for an exam. This is recently going on with my own children, so it makes it more fun. So say I'm studying for an exam and I study 1 to 2 hours most days for 2 weeks. And I go and I take the exam and I don't do well on it. Like maybe I get a D or a C. And my expectation was at least a B plus. it makes sense that my I feel like my grades are not in line with the level of effort that I put in, right? However, if I didn't start to prepare for that exam till like 2 days before, and maybe put like 30 minutes in. And yeah, over the last couple weeks, I went to class and I paid attention in class for the most part, but there are other things that I was making a priority. And I want that to be good enough. I want that to give me the grade that I want, really, because I'm not able to put more time into it. So I'm really hoping that that's enough. But then I got like a C. So when we look at that, we correlate that back to our weight journey. It's so important to ask yourself. So if it's been 2 weeks and you get on the scale or you measure your waist or you're looking at your strength performance or you're looking at your endurance on a walk, whatever way you're using to measure this, and it's not what you wanted it to be, and you're frustrated and you feel like it's not responding, try to then ask yourself, so the level of effort, commitment, consistency, execution of my plan the last couple weeks, does it match what I'm looking for? So if I thought I was going to get on the scale and it showed 2 pounds weight loss in 2 weeks, for most of us, that would require some pretty consistent effort, and consistent execution and follow through of whatever our plan is. I took my medicine the way it's scheduled. I was pretty consistent on getting my protein in. I paid attention to where my, enough, no longer hunger point was. I got my non-exercise activity in and was pretty consistent with my exercise activity. My sleep and stress were pretty stable. If that was the case, then your body may just need more time. Now, if it's a situation where you were expecting 2 pounds weight loss in 2 weeks and your sleep had been terrible for like the past week, and maybe you had to take like cold medications because you were challenged by that in your household, or like a couple people lost their role at your job and you've had to work harder and extra and there's lots of stress. Well, that doesn't add up, right? Because the expectation, like you're hoping that your result will still show what you want it to because you want it to show that. But if the execution or in the consistency of our plan doesn't work out and we're upset because the result didn't show up, we're really putting some unfair expectations on ourselves, even if it's beyond your control. It just may be a phase of life where you have to give yourself a little bit of grace and keep working on your changes and know that it may just take a little bit more time. It doesn't mean what you're doing isn't working. So that really creates that opportunity where we need to stand back without emotion, without judgment, as much as possible. I know it's hard. And play detective and ask yourself, all right, this is just a piece of data. What am I making it mean? Because if I'm making it mean I'm a failure and this will never work, well, that's probably too harsh. For most cases, that's just too harsh. And you look back and really analyze, what could I have done differently? What have I learned from this? How do I want the next 2 weeks to be better or different, And maybe it is like, you know what? The next 2 weeks, still going to be high stress. I'm not going to get a whole lot of sleep. So maybe I just need to give myself a whole lot of self-care and take care of myself and give myself a lot of grace, that I shouldn't really have high expectations in what my body can and can't do for me at this time period. So hopefully that helps. You start to analyze, are your expectations fair? Are they realistic? Where are they coming from? And then how can you analyze it to see, does the level of persistence, commitment, change, consistency that you're putting into wanting that result match up to the result that you're looking for. Try that over the next couple months. If you end up with some challenges, see if that helps. Practice some self-care, set some realistic expectations. Don't make this experience harder than it has to be, because it's already pretty hard.